call for orders. Young members present, Chairman Gloria Varian, Vice Chairman Doug Taylor, Authority members Joel Hutton, Marie Joy, and Kathleen Zanardi.
Just a few housekeeping things tonight before we start. We're attempting to record this first meeting tonight in hopes that it works fine and we're going to upload it to YouTube. We don't have the capabilities here to do online automatically, to stream it like they do at the town hall. So we'll have audio from there and also audio from the tape recorder Lucille's using. One of the things that we wanted to do tonight was do an addendum to the agenda. We wanted to add an E to allow the chair to fill out the appropriate paperwork requesting that Dan Hebert become our health consultant. I'll give you a little background on that. I spoke with the town administrator, Mary Carlullo, the other day, and she said there seems to be some either miscommunication or not the same information being given to us through the healthcare. We have somebody else right now as our health consultant, and she feels it would be in our best interest if we brought Dan Hebert on to deal with it so that we're all on the same page. I did speak with him last night. He was more than willing to accept that, but there is some paperwork that would have to be done in order for us to request of the health broker that we are requesting Dan Hebert and no longer staying with our Darlene, yes, who we now have. So I would need that in a motion that we add an E to the agenda to allow the chair to fill out the appropriate paperwork request to get Dan Hebert to become our sole health consultant.
I'll make the motion.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any further discussion? Okay, the ayes have it. Okay, so we'll add E. Approval of the minutes from December 11, 2017, January 11, 2018, and January 24th, 2018. Are there any corrections or concerns over the minutes? Has everybody reviewed the minutes from previous months? I need a motion to accept the minutes from,
I'll make a motion we accept the minutes from December 11th, January 11th, and January 24th.
Any second?
Okay, I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any further discussion? Public participation. Okay, Rick.
Rick Case, 78 South Prospect Street. I'm really not looking to cause any trouble, but under your executive session to discuss hypertension workman comp statute,
Correct.
I'm just kind of wondering what exception you're going under to do that.
Having had contact with the attorney now, who's our town attorney, it's an open-ended statute apparently, and so it's something that we feel we have to collectively talk about. The only way we can collectively talk about that is in an executive session. We've been advised through our counsel that we in fact do it in this form. So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No, I wish it did, but it doesn't.
Okay.
I'm looking, I mean, are you going under litigation, are you going under personnel, are you going under negotiations?
No, it's just the general statute itself. Without going further into that, it's not a personnel issue, it's not directed at someone, it's not a named person. It is just the general statute itself.
Okay.
And so that we have a better understanding of that.
Okay.
just so that we're clear on that.
I will accept that, but I would like you to know that there's only 5 exceptions that you can go into executive session on. And a discussion on the statute, I don't know where you're gonna put that, I don't think it falls under one of the exceptions. So, I mean, if your attorney's telling you that,
Right.
I'll
I
accept
mean, if
it,
you,
but-
what I can do, if it's helpful, is get a statement maybe from the attorney. That clarifies
Okay.
that. Just so that you know, we were advised that way, so I don't know how else to explain.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any further public participation? Petitions and communications, revenue collections. Request for tax collector request for tax refunds. The following are requests: Enterprise FM Trust, St. Louis, Missouri, GL 10-16 vehicles sold, $117.50. Jeanette Lapasio, Saban Street in Putnam, vehicle has been disposed, $2.44. Alicia L. Troiano, Woodstock Ave, Putnam, GL/L10-16 motor vehicle, vehicle sold, $2.57. Wheels LT, Des Plaines, Illinois, G/L10-16 motor vehicle, vehicle sold, $32.02. Nissan Infiniti LT, Dallas, Texas, vehicle sold, $58.75. Adrian Spencer, Northborough, Massachusetts, G/L10/15 motor vehicle, has moved out of state, $73.23. CoreLogic Tax Service, Rochester, New York, G/L10-16 RE refund overpayment. It appears to be $663.17 for a grand total of $949.68. Can I have a motion to approve the payment for these? I need a second.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, what? Right. Okay. On to letter B, letter of retirement from Police Chief Rick Hayes. On January 17th of 2017, Special Service District received the following letter. Lori Marion, Chairman, Putnam Special Service District, 189 Church Street, Putnam, Connecticut, 06260, regarding retirement. January 17, 2017, Chairman, I will retire from my position as Chief of Police effective August 5th, 2018. Respectfully, Rick L. Hayes. I need a motion regret to accept the retirement resignation.
Okay, that's what I was about to say. I move we accept with regret resignation of Chief Hayes.
I need a second. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to 6, reports from the department's previous month's report, December of 2017. Who would like to go first?
Oh, I'll go first. You go
Okay.
first. You start out. Okay. You have both months' worth of reports. I'll be happy to answer any question on the stats that I gave you. I do just have a couple of other things that I would like to bring to you. I know a couple of them are down on the agenda, so I'll wait. About 3 years ago, the board agreed to a 4th sergeant spot in the department. Currently, we're down to 3. I would like approval to start a promotional process to promote another sergeant. The reason I'm doing this is anticipation of the upcoming transition, and I think it would be a lot easier for the department if we have a fourth sergeant in place when that happens.
Do we have any discussion, any questions, or? Do we have this in writing anywhere that says that there was a promotional plan to do a third sergeant
A
at some
fourth
point?
sergeant.
I'm sorry, a
There's always
fourth
been,
sergeant?
there's always been three, we went to four, I'm gonna say 3, maybe 4 years ago, but it was with approval of the board, so it would be in the minutes someplace.
Okay, so why don't we do this? This is my suggestion, that we, in fact, look to see if we can find that approval,
Mhm,
and that at next month's meeting,
mhm,
if there's, collectively, we could work to find that.
mhm.
And then, if we find that, we can act on it then. So, at this point, I think maybe we should, can't really table it, it's not on the agenda, but I mean, at least move it and discuss it for next month.
That's fair.
Next
Okay.
month's agenda.
I presented the chairman with a mutual aid compact agreement for the law enforcement council, which the police department is part of. The mutual aid compact has been in effect for well before my time. The reason that they're redoing them now is because they've added the 2 Indian tribes who are part of the law enforcement council into the compact now. So that language will change, so they figured it was time just to update the compacts and re-sign them. So I'm in no rush to get it back, and you can take whatever time you need to review it, run it through the attorney if you want. Once you're done with it, the chief, whoever that may be, will sign it, and then you'll be good again.
Huh?
I didn't go with this.
Okay, drop something in there.
Has no idea.
I have no idea.
So the only do is adding the tribal police?
That's the only one we changed is.
They already work with the state, I think.
I'm sorry,
I think they already work with the state police, don't they?
Yeah, but the compact is actually amongst the 26 local departments, municipal departments that are in the law enforcement council. The state police, mutual aid compact comes through statute, and this comes through in a compact agreement.
Would this mean they would work on road projects if they were available, or anything like that?
It's more for an emergency type mutual aid compact, so if we needed personnel, both for major events, or if we need them for a town event, they could do that. And as you read through it, it basically puts the responsibility of the employee department for workers' comp and all that other stuff. It's all listed in there. But like I said, I don't need action on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we can,
We can still have time to get to it then.
maybe Lucille, if you could make copies for everybody for that, for next
Yeah,
meeting, and
next
then,
meeting.
all right, okay, good.
And other than those listed down below, that's all I have for you.
Okay, you
You're up.
got my reports, just a couple things I wanted to bring up last month. I put in there that we had the 4 bottles on the truck, on our rescue truck that we had previously have now. We had to ship 2 of them down to Louisiana.
Right.
I brought that up before, and Ray Phillips, who works for Ensinger in town, the old Danko, he took and got a hold of the trucking company that deals with their company and helped us out getting a price to have it delivered down there. We got a price of $391 compared to $6,000 for the bottles, new bottles. The company themselves ended up paying the $391, so it didn't cost us anything. In the minutes, in the back of the thing, I sent a letter to Ensinger thanking them for their donation of the money for the shipment of the bottles, and there's a copy of the letter there for you also. And the update now is the truck, we have pictures that come in every week. And right now, the cab is complete, the box is complete, and it's in the painting stage at this point. So it's getting closer. And that's about it.
That's it. Moving on to unfinished business. We had previously discussed at the last meeting the state statute repealing bingos, bazaars, and raffle laws. It is my understanding through the town administrator that we in fact hit kind of a difficult spot. The way the statute is written, it says a municipal official means the chief of police of the municipality, or if there is no police department, the chief executive officer of the municipality. The way that she interprets it is that we, under the charter, are listed as town and not municipality. Therefore, the language in the state statute doesn't fall back to the special service district because, in fact, municipality, under the statute, refers back to town, which is part of what the charter is. So, I think at this point, because we basically, according to the state statute and their understanding of the statute, that we can basically wash our hands of this at this time, so that we would not have to continue to see this on our agenda. If there is a change in the near future that comes up and they change the statute or they change how it's written, but right now, that's the understanding, is that because it's worded municipal official and we in our charter state town, it's really kind of picking back and forth with words, but that's how it's written, so. I would just, is there any
So it
other
falls to the
thoughts?
town.
Right, it falls back to the town at this
Mayor and
time.
selectmen.
Correct,
I think the mayor thinks that's what it means.
Right.
According to the attorneys, yes.
correct, So-
If I can ask a question.
yes.
Do they have any idea how they're gonna enforce this?
At this point, from what Mary has told me, they don't, which is another, it's just something they've thrown back to the towns, like 100 other things recently. And as far as I know, there's nothing set up to enforce it, which I think is gonna be a problem for everybody. I mean, as soon as people want permits,
Turns out to be a
raffles.
violation of statute.
I would think at some
So,
point there
I
would be,
mean,
because
and
it
then
passed
the state police
January.
gonna come into town and do the enforcement of the VFW club and their bingo permits?
I agree.
Because
I totally agree. I mean, the statute is effective January 1st of 2018. And I think, when she asked for a legal opinion through the state, they told her that the way our charter is written, we are seen as town, not municipality, and therefore, we don't have to worry about it. We'll see what happens with that, but that is obviously a statute that we'll have to fall back on if in fact they.
They're repealing them, they don't have to be enforced anyhow. There's no more laws. Right?
they're just
Well,
repealing the permit end of
Right.
it. The
Right.
permitting end of it is being repealed and sent to the municipalities. The criminal law enforcement for violation of the statute still falls on law enforcement, so.
So it appears to me that when they wrote the act, that passed the public act, that maybe they didn't take into consideration everything they should have. Maybe they should have contacted or had a better idea of what they were doing. So I think the first time, I don't see it as our responsibility at this point, because clearly, based on the statute, it isn't. So I certainly don't want to open any can of worms with the state of Connecticut on it. At some point, I'm sure there'll be some ruling, or something will happen, unfortunately, where someone is held liable for it. But at this point, we appear to be clearly covered by not having to take responsibility for it, so.
So our law enforcement would even know about
That's
anything
right.
going on.
Correct.
Unless somebody files a complaint or.
Right. So like I said, I mean, if the statute does exist, the chief is right. I mean, it's in effect right now.
Yep.
And, We've been given by the state what they think is the actual interpretation of the statute, and based on our charter, I don't know how other towns might be affected based on their charters or their bylaws, but clearly ours, it doesn't fall under the police chief, so that would be that. I don't think we need a motion, we'll just not have to worry about putting that on the agenda again. Part-time employees, B under 7, part-time employees request for overtime pay for time worked over 8 hours a day, and I think we're talking about our auxiliary
Talking about
officers.
auxiliaries and only during outside construction jobs when the pay is being billed to an outside contractor,
Right,
not the schools or the town.
right.
And,
Does everybody have a copy of the bill rate?
This is how it is now.
yeah, Lee broke this down from January 1st of 2017 through December 31st of 2017, with all of the hours worked and how many in addition to 8 hours. And the bottom line, as you read it all through, the bottom line is there would have been a difference of $1,215, with the special service district still making a profit of $188,000, so.
So you're talking
Has everybody-
back pay.
okay.
Is this under, am I under, so this is back pay for 2017?
No, we're not talking anything retroactive.
Oh, okay.
We're talking from this point forward. This is an
Oh,
example
okay.
of the year 2017, what it would have cost had you paid the auxiliary officers time and a half after 8 hours, it would have been $1,200.
Okay.
Okay, I understand.
I think on our, I appreciate the information, first of all. It's a good breakdown of what they've done. I think the request originally came to us from the deputy chief regarding one auxiliary officer for a period of 8 hours of time and a half. So when we put it on the agenda, we were looking at that particular request, not as a request total, if I'm understanding where we were in the last request, was a request that came through Lee for one auxiliary officer who had worked, it was either 8 or 9 hours above what would be normally an 8-hour shift, for whatever reason. I don't know what the feeling of the board is as far as doing the overtime. My concern is that, I wish in a way we had this kind of a printout prior to Lee's request, because it would give us a better idea of exactly how many hours, because clearly I see Matt Rondo had already put in 90 and a half hours of Overtime.
In the course of a year.
in the
That's a
course
lot.
of a year. And what we understood was there was 1 8-hour,
That was just for that one job.
right, for that one job. But when in fact now we're seeing that he put in additional 80 and a half some odd hours, or a little bit more than that.
I read this as if you're going through a year.
Right, right, but the original request that came through Lee was for 1 8-hour overtime, if I remember it right, correct?
It was, yeah, for one
Okay.
officer. And we wanted to make sure whatever we voted on, weren't setting a precedent
Yeah,
or
for that
something.
one.
If that's the case, then that was a misunderstanding. What we're
Okay.
trying to do is pay any auxiliary that works in excess of 8 hours, time and a half, only if they're working for a job that's being paid by an outside contract. So the district
So-
right now is charging $109 an hour.
Right,
The auxiliary makes 20.
right,
We charge 20 for the car.
yep,
So the rental of the car pays for the auxiliary's pay.